Beneath the hollowed light. The train screeched into the station as dusk collapsed into night. Elena Marlowe stepped onto the platform, the chill air wrapping around her like a secret. She pulled her coat tighter, its collar stiff against her neck. Behind her, the carriage doors slid shut with a hiss. She had left everything behind, London's glittering facade, her sister's laughter, and a promotion at the gallery. She carried only one thing, a letter, yellowed at the edges. My dear Ellie, you do not know me. But I know you. Come to Cranford. Quickly. There is a darkness here. A friend. She stepped through the lamplit streets toward Cranford Manor. The village was nearly deserted, windows shuttered, not a soul in sight. Lights pulsed, street by street, converging at one grand old house perched at the end of Elm Avenue. Cranford Manor loomed, Gothic turrets, shuttered windows, ivy clinging to its stone walls. Inside, the air was heavy. A single candle burned on a mahogany table, the rest of the house lay cloaked in darkness. A man sat opposite her, tall, gaunt, his collar open. Shadows carved hollows beneath his eyes. Miss Marlowe? She nodded. Dr. Ashton. He held out a hand. It was cold. Thank you for coming. His voice was soft, urgent, practiced. I received your letter. She exhaled. Why me? He met her gaze. Your sister appeared in my dreams. Malcolm. The light in you. He paused. I need your help. A distant thrum, like a cough, echoed. The candle guttered. Dr. Ashton led her through a corridor lined with portraits. Elena's footsteps echoed. She passed a painting of a stern woman in black, a matriarch, eyes following her. He told you. The doctor's voice was low. Told me what? Elena whispered back. She said my name. He closed his eyes. My wife. Malcolm. A door whispered open. Inside, in the small drawing room, sat a girl, 12, pale as porcelain, hollow-eyed. Her hair was drawn back. She stared at a blank circle on the floor. Ellie? Her voice cracked. She smiled, something sharp in the gesture. Dr. Ashton shushed her. That's Anastasia. He swallowed hard. They say the house has spirits. She changes at night. Elena studied the girl. I want to help. Dr. Ashton exhaled in relief. I've arranged an exorcist. Father Devlin arrives tonight. At dinner, only candles lit the table. Anastasia scooped potatoes like a machine. Elena asked Dr. Ashton about the house. He spoke quietly. Cranford was built over a chapel, dating back to the Reformation. They worshipped in secret. They say the walls are porous. A loud crack rattled the wood paneling. The candle jumped. Anastasia's fork slipped from her hand. She looked at Elena, unafraid. Later, Elena examined her room. Tapestries of saints lined the walls. A crucifix above the bed, her reflection glaring back. She tucked the letter under her pillow. At midnight, a whisper curled around her name. She bolted upright. The candle had gone out. Her breath froze. Someone stood at the foot of the bed, a shape, tall, gaunt, with eyes like embers. I'm here, Ellie. The voice was child's voice, then cracked deeper. You invited me. Elena swung the lamp up. Nothing. The door slammed. The tapestries rustled. She screamed, the night swallowing her. Morning was gray. Dr. Ashton found Elena on the floor, eyes wide. Anastasia sat beside her, brushing her hair. At breakfast, Father Devlin arrived. He carried a leather satchel, his rosary beads clicking. He introduced himself, voice kind but firm. That which we face is old, he said, crossing himself. It preys on pain and doubt. We must not fear the darkness. They planned an exorcism for that night. Elena paced the corridor. Father Devlin observed her kindly. Faith is your weapon, he said quietly. And love. She nodded, though her heart thundered. Night fell with a strange hush. Candlelight scattered, holy water lined the room. Father Devlin read scripture while Dr. Ashton held Emily's trembling hand, Anastasia's. Then the change. Her body convulsed. Eyes snapped open, eclipsed pupils. She snarled, voice doubled, she gave her life. You took her light. They recoiled as the lightning fractured the sky. The little dahlia vase shattered. Anastasia crouched low, moved with inhuman grace. Father Devlin intoned, in the name of the Father. He made the sign of the cross. Anastasia recoiled, hissing. You took her, the voice bellowed, pitch shifting, timbres layering. Elena stepped forward. Who are you? She demanded. The being snarled, came toward her. She forced herself to meet its eyes. You are nothing. She pressed the crucifix to its forehead. Go away. Anastasia screamed. The candlelight swirled. A tortured scream escaped the walls. They worked in prayer, holy water, incantation. Dr. Ashton collapsed to his knees, tears streaked by candlelight. Father Devlin pressed on. Finally, silence. Anastasia collapsed. The light left her eyes. Dawn crept through the windows. Anastasia lay asleep, the color stealing back to her cheeks. Elena watched over her while Dr. Ashton slept on the floor. Father Devlin was in the hallway. She stepped out. Thank you, she said, voice hushed. He shook his head. Thank her. She is the warrior. Elena tilted her head. He nodded toward the chapel ruins at the back of the manor. Gone. They descended through a trapdoor beneath the drawing room. Stone steps curved downward. The walls were slick, must and age tangled. They emerged into a small crypt, pillars carved with biblical scenes. Candles long burned out. Dr. Ashton pointed. We found our friend's remains here. The body of Liliana Cranford, wife to Lord Henry. She died betraying her faith. The manor was his. And he felt he could take her into darkness. Father Devlin traced a finger above a long-forgotten altar. She waited. In sorrow. In betrayal. A soul torn, unrest. Elena swallowed. So it needed release. He nodded. It recognized the pain in this house. The blood of beloved ones. It thought it could reclaim them all. Dr. Ashton stood, pale. My wife was a Cranford. Elena felt the weight. The tangled web of grief. They rebuilt the altar. Father Devlin led prayers as dawn broke through cracks above. Dr. Ashton placed a single rose on the altar. Elena recited lines from memory, her sister's poem about light conquering darkness. They lit candles. For Liliana. For Anastasia. For every lost name. A wind rustled. The candles flickered. A single petal drifted from the rose. It is done, Father Devlin whispered. Rest at peace. They emerged above to a sky-washed pink. Anastasia, pale but steady, waited by the entrance. Dr. Ashton knelt and hugged her. Elena placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. He looked at Elena. I owed my wife. And my daughter. Elena touched the crucifix she still wore beneath her coat. Keep this, he said. For when the darkness threatens again. She nodded. She would keep it close. Months later, Elena sat in her flat in London, painting. The canvas held light, bright yellows, bleeding into soft blues. She paused, smoothing a streak. A letter lay on her desk. Ellie, I dreamt of my sister today. She's smiling. She whispered thank you. A friend. Elena smiled, heart swelling. She rose, opened the window. The sun touched the city's rooftops. She slipped the crucifix beneath her dress, steady to her heart. There may always be shadows. But once, she had stared them down, and emerged into the dawn.